Good afternoon, each and every one of our merry Marvelites. Welcome for some Marvel movie talk. We are very excited to talk about episode 6 of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I, as always, am Christian Bladt, joined by Michael Shirley.
Hey!
And, of course, down below is Jeff Williams Jr. with a, hey, how are you?
What's up, man?
With only with I'd say the second strongest Captain America shield that we've seen in the last 24 hours. Also, Eric Connor, who I believe is coming to us from the waiting room at a Turkish whorehouse. I'm not quite sure where that is, but it's very elegant.
It's a half truth. It's not Turkish.
Oh, you're just in Sparks, Nevada.
We like to call it Nevada. Yes, we have many names for this house. Whore is denigrating to the women who work here and the men.
And the Sparks is one of them. I want to go across the spectrum of reactions. I want to start with Jeff. Overall reaction to episode 6, and obviously you can talk about the series as a whole, but just overall thoughts on episode 6.
I really enjoyed episode 6. I thought it was action-packed from the jump. I thought it had a lot of the storylines. It closed a lot of storylines, and it gave us some closure that I didn't think I was going to get, because I was kind of assuming that with the Isaiah Bradley storyline, we kind of were like going to tease it and then maybe pop up in a different format, maybe in like Young Avengers or something, and kind of touch on that. But to give him his own memorial, to kind of give him his own nod and kind of finish that storyline in a sense, give him his respect, I thought that was really cool. I love the new Captain America look. I love the feel. I love the fighting style because it's different. He's flying now. And even though it was corny, I love is that Black Captain America? Is that Black Falcon? No, that's Captain America. I loved all the corniness. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fitting because it was a TV show. We're on Disney Channel. It was a fun film.
Well, look, I think comic books are filled with sort of those moments. Is like, look at that guy crawling up the building. It's some kind of man spider. I would say he's a Spider-Man, and you sort of always get that moment. And I did like sort of the references to Black Falcon. And then, I think they, the fact that we start off with Sam is he's on the comms and we hear him. We don't see him right away. I think that the reveal was well timed by, sort of the way that the world was introduced to him was him smashing through that window. And I thought that it was great to see him with the shield, using the shield, I would say better than John Walker ever did, or at least more respectfully. And I love the look. I know that the week that I was away, you guys showed the action figure on the show, and it did not disappoint. And I think I kind of liked the idea of having one, but now that I saw him in action, I'm like, wait, was I supposed to pre-order that action figure? I think we'll kind of break down some of the specifics beyond that. And then let's just go for the whiplash there. Michael, what'd you think of the season finale or possibly series finale?
It wasn't very pretty to watch. The coloring of everything, for me, it was like a very dark episode. Like most everything was at night. So I didn't feel like I got as much like color, and like we got with the final episode of WandaVision was just like so bright and colorful. And all right, so I love the suit. Like I love the action figure. Like I love the idea of the suit, but I feel like it doesn't like fit him really well. Jeff and I were talking about like hopefully it will get a little more, it'll work itself out a little more over time. The way the wings fold back into the suit are kind of like, I'm like, where'd they go? I don't know. I'm glad they got rid of Carly. I've finally forgiven Bucky. I didn't think we were going to see Sushi Girl. We did.
Yeah, in an under 5 role. So I hope she already had her SAG card before this because she's not getting it from this.
The whole thing with the Asian man, that felt a little like flat.
I mean, you didn't need to come over in the middle of the night. You could have waited till the next day. You know, you've been carrying this around for a while. You just come over for lunch and you know what? I'll just leave the lunch. I won't make you sit and eat with the guy who killed your son. What were you going to say, Jeff?
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying it was such a quick scene, and like I didn't want to touch on it at the beginning, but like they just fast forward through that whole like ending of his storyline. That was supposed to be a big deal. It just seemed so quick and like kind of not fulfilling. But yeah, you guys can go back.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it's like he crossed off all the names in the book, and then my first thought is like, yeah, but did he really, or is he just telling her like, yeah, believe me, I did. You know, I went and visited all those people. It just happened. It happened off camera. Ghost 8386, new Captain America costume looks marvelous. And then follows it up with U.S. Agent. Looks awesome. I mean, U.S. Agent is a comic book accurate costume. So I think they did a great job with that. It was good to see. Eric, your overall thoughts on episode 6, the series/season finale?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I was glad to see them finally get out of sort of unnamed Eastern European cities and go into New York, although then, and in honor of this, the Giants Cup, which means it's filled with tears. But the problem is, it could have done more with New York. Like, I thought, it's like, wow, you're in New York, and yet it doesn't. I mean, it feels like, I don't know, Atlanta, Canada. Yeah. I mean, kind of every place but New York. So I was, like, excited. Then at some point, though, there were a couple of really cool shots early on. Even there was one that, you know, was... I mean, I would say it was a drone, but it would have been done in post because it was like, basically it was CG'd buildings, but it was like from above, bird's eye view, which I thought was really cool. So they had some nice moments early, but then I feel like maybe they felt the action was good. I did like how the suit's new wings were working. Yeah. I thought the moment where, you know, he's on the bridge and he has sort of his like Fantastic Four Spider-Man kind of moment on the bridge, I thought was good. I love when the wings covered that one person. I thought that was great. The stuff with the helicopter, him in the water. So there was a lot of really good moments. It was good, great. No, I think I'm sure at some point we'll talk about this versus WandaVision, and I guess I would take WandaVision over it overall, just because WandaVision went into so many unexpected places. This went where we expected it, but it did it really well. And I did love that. It just jumped right in. Like we had a lot of talk in 5 and then a lot of shit happening in 6.
Yeah, I think before the season started, and even when we were first recapping the first episode, I think we all agreed that there's a few boxes that we need to check at the end of this series. One, Sam is going to be the new Captain America. And there was the expectation that John Walker would be U.S. Agent. I still thought that it would have been cool if Zemo killed him, but he did take out. He had his guy take out some super soldiers. So you know, that sentiment was still well out there. You know that he does not like people with the serum, but that could play.
Can you believe Sharon was the power broker? I mean, so much effing shock. Like, wow. Just when I don't think Marvel could throw another curveball at us, they do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was not surprising. I think everybody felt like it was coming. I mean, it would have actually been very dissatisfying if it had just been like, oh yeah, she's like the executive assistant to the power broker, you know. But Wes in the chat has a great thought. Calling it now, Sharon and the Senator are Skrulls. And without being too unkind, that could account for the fact that, let's just say you get the feeling that this was the episode that was shot post the COVID break. Emily Van Camp, she looked a little different in this one, so maybe it was because it was a Skrull. And
COVID-15.
Yeah, that's what I was trying not to say. But yeah, it you know, you're just like, oh, okay, all right, sure.
I didn't know
But
you were pregnant.
that's actually what my wife said. My wife saw it and was like, "Is she pregnant?" I'm like, "I don't think so." But anyway, yeah. So I mean, look, that's a fun idea, though. If you know, I mean, with WandaVision, obviously in the finale, we did get a nice scroll reveal. I don't think that that's what we're getting here, but it would certainly make this story more interesting, Michael, that if she were a Skrull than if it's just like, well, I'm the power broker, and it's like, yeah, but yeah,
I still
Right.
don't buy any of this stuff. I think she is still like deep cover. That I don't know. Even that last scene was really weird to me, like the mid-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Yeah, when-
kind of like, this doesn't feel like that character, so I totally can get on board with the scroll thing.
yeah.
But like, really, what did they do to her that was just so horrible that she's decided to go like against like her family lineage, basically? Like, it doesn't all add up to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can add up when the story continues, and we'll talk in a little bit as to, you know, where we'll see more of this. But I don't know. I mean, it could stand to reason that she's still angry enough at the government for the way that she had to run away, and she liked kind of being in business for herself, and she's just, you know, as she says, if you take it at face value, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of other stuff to sell now. They were very quick to be like, what do you think? You want to go back to being Agent Carter? Agent Carter? Sure, great. So I think that the Skrulls theory is not something I considered, but I do find it to be you know, something that would be interesting. And for what I was saying before, Michael B says, I literally pissed myself laughing when Zemo's butler showed up to blow those guys to hell. LOL. And Beeping Goat, good to see you, Beeping Goat. To be honest, before I saw it was the butler for a split second, I thought it was the Kingpin, and my little hashtag save Daredevil heart nearly exploded. Oh, how great would that have been if Wilson Fisk was just there? I'd be like, no, it's all right. There's a price on these gents' heads. But to be fair, like, Wilson Fisk is never sitting in a car to blow anyone up. He's got people who do that for him. You know,
It would have to be a bigger car too.
Yeah, it would have to be like a Range Rover or something, a Hummer. No, he just sits in his penthouse and looks at blank canvases and tries to explain, you know, how beautiful they are, and while someone else does all the murdering. Let's see, and. Yeah. So this was what Wes also said. I hope next season they show us what Sharon went through. I don't know that we'll get to. I think that they feel like we've learned enough of what she went through, and you know, not just she went through a few packages of Hostess donuts. I think that what they mean is that she went delivers only to make Michael laugh. That I said that. Because I knew he would.
I hate this character.
You don't like Agent 13? You don't like Sharon Carter?
No.
Well,
luckily you love the actress so much.
I loved her in Revenge, but like, that is just, when you play a character like that, that's such a different, interesting character that you don't really see on TV, it's hard to not be typecasted and like be seen as that person. So it's just really hard for me to like feel like she even belongs in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, what do you think about Sharon? Sort of the reveal that you know, we all saw coming, but you were the first to go on the record. You were the first to voice your like, nope, she's the power broker. What did you think of the reveal and sort of this idea that like, well, she's back in the government and still working all the angles?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it kind of like builds to her character, but I'm 100% with Michael in the fact that they need to do something to her storyline. They need to give us more in the fact that what's really making her kind of say, F the United States, I'm going to be a double agent, or like, why is she like so like against the United States right now? I get that I really don't even. I mean, I barely get that she was a runaway from the United States because she helped Captain America and Bucky. They're safe. Why wouldn't she be? So like, I need to know more. I feel like they just didn't give us much about that. And with her storyline and the tease at the end, I feel like she might be the main villain for Armor Wars, and I am not because she literally teased we don't have the super serum, but we have technology and we have information, and that is what I mean. What is Armor Wars if not like information in the government and not technology? So.
Yeah, no, I think that it's very clear that they have big plans for her, but I guess we'll have to see how it all works together and how Julia or Louis Dreyfus figures into all of this. But we'll talk about her in a moment. Eric, I wanted you to be able to voice your thoughts on Sharon Carter.
With Sharon, she's totally fine. I do, of course, always enjoy things that I know somewhere in Tennessee are infuriating Michael Shirley. And so anytime she shows up on screen, there is that joy I get in my heart. But also, think about Peggy. All right. Peggy shows up, Captain America, a role that I do think was well written. But the second she showed up, she was interesting. Like, you wanted to learn more about her. She was a good foil, a good lead, believable in all sorts of different situations in that film. I did not watch the Agent Carter TV show, but I would say, like, just the bit she gave us in a movie and a couple scenes in the Marvel Universe made us want more of her. I've yet to feel that for Sharon. And I'm not alone. I mean, I think I don't want to speak for the masses, but I will speak for my mass. I do think she is fine, but as a villain, as a potential head villain in Armor Wars, don't we want more than fine? So Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Julia Ormond Louise,
please.
Richard, Dustin Dreyfus. She at least brings her. She shows up and the whole temperature changes. Sharon, she's fine, maybe pregnant. God bless. I hope it went well. Whatever it was, COVID, I hope it wasn't bad. I mean,
as we talked about last week, obviously that role was defined by Lisa Rinna, but I do think that Julia Elaine Dreyfus does bring with her a very specific presence that is clearly what they wanted. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that works. We got to see a little bit more of that, I thought. And I think we'll see all that. But, to your point that when we met Sharon Carter, I mean, she was doing laundry when we met her. And if you didn't want to know, does she do her whites separately? Does she use fabric softener? Which brand? I mean, these are all questions that I had when we first saw her. No, but I mean, the character, I think, was completely underutilized. They clearly had a minute where they wanted, look, in the comics, Steve Rogers dated Sharon Carter, as weird as that is. It happened. And I think it was something that they considered for a minute in the movies, but then when they didn't do it, it's like, well, then why is she here? No offense. It could be another character. It's like, and I think that, that was just something that was never really going to happen. And I don't know. I think that they're just trying to make her more interesting. Believe me that I'm going to make this connection make sense. But I had a friend who worked for years on Dawson's Creek, and you're like, well, what does that have to do with any of this? There was a character named Jack on that show, and he was such a terrible actor. They made him gay to make him more interesting and give him something to do. And I think that Sharon Carter was not particularly good. They didn't know what to do with her. It's like, well, what if she has the ultimate heel turn and she becomes the bad guy? Let's do that. Let's have her breaking a chair over Sam Wilson's head, figuratively. So, by the way, I think Batroc the Leaper was the least necessary returning character in this series because they didn't do anything. Yeah. What were you going to say, Jeff?
My bad, Eric, for interrupting. I was going to say, when I was watching that with a friend, and I walked into the episode, and he was like, if GSP, who I call him GSP, just because like I know him as a UFC fighter, but either way, if he doesn't lose his legs or have goggles by the end of the episode, it's a wrap, and he didn't, and I'm like. They like you said, they just like dropped the ball. Like there's
it's
no
like
tease to what his comics were and everything. So like my friend was upset from the jump when we saw that character be
and it was just more like you brought him back and he's like, I want to kill Sam Wilson. It was like, well, what are you going to do? Hire somebody who's good at killing? Because you clearly
you are,
to
and do you work in the building? And also, by the way, you said chair and okay, of all the things that stop the Shield, a chair. And not even like a steel chair, not even the kind that you use on Mankind's head. Rather, it was like a plastic chair. And somehow plastic, I then realized this is what you can do to protect yourself against the Shield. Get a very cheap plastic chair from Target after you buy goggles for your guy there, Jeff. And then you're all set.
Cami Egan on this. While I like GSP, this is not the UFC, and his character was unnecessary. And Wes agrees with me. Batroc was a flop, so Batroc the flopper is what we got here. And I mean, look, it's not a great character. The words "the Leaper" are in his name. And I know in the movies he was just Batroc, but he's not a great character. So I don't know what they were going to do with him, but it was almost like, I don't know. I guess he's more interesting than Sharon Carter, though. I'll say that because look, they've tried to make her interesting, and we'll see where it goes. I do like sort of that she's positioned in a way, where it's like the obvious was revealed to us that she's the power broker, but everybody else is still, giving her their locations in the tunnels and, it's like, okay, so they just have no idea. So it could be interesting, but it was not particularly interesting at this point,
Did anyone else get the Flag Smasher app, by the way?
I would like to have the Flag Smasher.
I was so fascinated by that. And I was like, do they charge? Is it ad-based?
It's affiliate advertising. So if you're going to buy something on Amazon, make sure you go to the link through the Flag Smasher app.
Right.
What were we going to say, Jeff?
No, it's all good. I kind of forgot about it.
I think that look, I think that there's a lot of great moments. I like the fact that Sam very clearly identifies himself as Captain America at one point. He's just like, yeah, I'm Captain America. And then, you do have the scrum of reporters late in the episode. It's like, well, when did the government make you Captain America? And he doesn't answer it. But, for us, it's like, well, they don't really get to do that. It's like, I stole my shield back and it's mine now. So you have to come and get it. And my friend with the cyborg arm will also help me out if you're trying to get it. But I thought that was great. And I think, Jeff, you referenced, there were maybe some corny moments. And I think that there were moments of Sam's speech that were great. And then there were a couple that were a little bit schmaltzy, but I felt like it was important to take the moment to shine the spotlight on him. And the best moment of it was actually the cutaway to John Walker watching Sam be Captain America. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't got that in me. That's not who I am. I'm just there to go on Good Morning America and maybe sign some autographs. But what did you think, Jeff, of that? The speech that Sam gave, and then we'll talk about that first. I'll ask everybody about Sam's speech and the way it was received.
Yeah, I love the speech. I thought it was great. There's obviously some poignant moments where like he was specifically talking to the senators about the craziness they were saying. Like, no, we're just gonna put everybody back into the countries where we think they should be in and stuff. But like the more direct, the more kind of not out there, that's not the right word, but the when he was like kind of talking to more of like his base, the black people, and just saying like, yes, there's going to be a black Captain America, and kind of like when he would say certain things, they jumped to Isaiah Bradley because you knew who his audience were. So like, yeah, it was kind of on the nose, but like it's also good to be on the nose because he wants it to be. He kind of needs it to be said, needs it to be heard for certain people.
Yeah, no, and I think it was important to see. You know, we saw his sister watching, and Isaiah Bradley, who we'll speak about in a moment. Michael, what did you think about Sam really getting the spotlight on him as Captain America? You know, in terms of in action, but also the PR aspect of being Captain America.
I can't get my head off of Eric's mask. I'm really worried. I want him to get it checked out. I felt like that speech was very like something you'd see in a Marvel movie before the cinematic universe started. It was a little like.
So, did it feel Eric Bana Hulk to you?
a little bit.
Okay.
It was. I think it was more so the acting of the people who he was talking to. They're like, "Oh, well, what about this problem? It's complicated." I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I don't know, maybe when they filmed this, you could only get extras and bit parts where people who tested negative for COVID, or maybe people who had gotten vaccines, and there weren't as many yet. So it was just less about how you read for a part than if you had some shots. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that the conversation was important. I
wanted him to like slam his shield into the ground and be like, "Listen up, motherfuckers!" Like it was just a little bit like it was just too sweet.
I don't think that would help the cause. I think that if he were to do that, I mean, not to over dramatize it, but the reason why Jackie Robinson was the first black baseball player was not because he was the best black baseball player, but he was the one that they knew would be able to handle sort of the constant, just insults and just the reaction from people and just the struggles of that role. And I think Sam knows that slamming his shield into the ground and saying, "What's up, motherfuckers?" to basically to try and take a page from Chappelle's show and be like, "I'm Captain America, bitch!" Boom. That's not going to help. This is definitely not going to help. What did you think, Eric, of Sam's speech, which was apparently carried live on every channel that was in the world? But.
Right. Well, first of all, I think this is important to mention. Instead of hashtag Eric's mask, let's go with Mass Master, because I do have my Jack Power costume right off screen at any given notice, and I almost fit a leg in there. That speech, I have such mixed feelings about it. I saw someone in the notes, the comments said it's kind of better on the second watch. I mean, I think the issue might have been just. How long would they listen to him? I mean, if they're politicians, there's cameras running. At some point, they go, "Let's come here. Let's just talk about this." And so it did feel like it ran long. Yet at the same time, it's shit that they, the fact that they went there, something we talked about. Really, episode 1 is great. I mean, like it's Marvel kind of getting back to what Marvel would do. What Marvel did differently than DC. It's actually about something, and I think like perfect. It was not. I'm glad it was there. And it's also honestly one of those speeches. I'm glad, like I'm looking forward to my kids seeing that scene because, they're younger and subtlety sometimes will get lost on them, but that scene's important. It perfect. No, but important and a step forward for Marvel. And I do hope when they do Captain America 4, kind of like if they go there, maybe give us a little more taste of what society's up to. Like I found some of these themes they're talking about felt a little bit almost like claustrophobic. We didn't get really a sense of society. We didn't get a sense. And of course we know society, we live in society, but none of us have lived in the post-blip society, even though COVID got us.
Yourself.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. I'm the assistant manager at that bank that wouldn't give Sam a loan. I just didn't get on camera. But no, but to your point,
that scene was so ridiculous. It didn't represent anything.
No, and I think that you're right in the sense that you're just sort of dealing with these themes of like why the Flag Smashers had so much support. I think it is very interesting, and because this was a series, they were able to unravel it a little. Whereas like a movie, you really would have just been like, they're just angry. Who cares? Let's just throw the shield at them. And it was able to breathe a little bit, but I agree that we could have used a little bit more. Ghost 8386 made this comment earlier. Seeing Isaiah Bradley in statue in the Smithsonian Museum was a great scene. And Beeping Goat says, I teared up at that. And I think that it was a great moment because of one, the fact that, Sam doesn't want him to be forgotten, but you saw what it meant to Isaiah Bradley. And I thought it was so important that the two of them spoke after, in the waning moments, because, it was just last week that he said there'll never be a black Captain America, but also no black man should ever want it. And just sort of, being able to appreciate the circumstances. And, maybe it was a little bit of Sam being like, yeah, but look how good I am at it. And look at my cool suit. Come on. You can't stay mad at all this. Look at me.
Who made the suit?
Wakanda.
The Wakandans.
I was thinking
Wakandan tailors.
Yeah.
That was Bucky's.
Maury Lipschultz in Wakanda does a great slacks.
Yeah.
He's the best guy.
He was T'Chaka's slacks guy. So he comes highly recommended. No, and I think that gives us, let's be honest, Wakanda tech greater than Stark tech. So if the Falcon wings from earlier in the series are any indication, which Eric of course created a meme about with the men these broken wings, which I think was a very very cutting edge current reference. But
Mr. is going to come back in 2022, and then I'll be laughing.
They're gonna, they'll tour. They'll go out on tour with Power Station. If only we're lucky. Jeff, I wanted to get your thoughts on the multiple interactions. He goes back to talk to Isaiah Bradley, but then also he brings them to the museum. And just again, this is a series. You can take the time to have these moments like that, which obviously, in a movie not directed by Zack Snyder, at least, you would never have time for stuff like this.
Very true, because not all of us have 4 hours for a movie. But no, I was actually very surprised and very happy and pleased to see what they did with it, because at first when they brought him into the show, I was excited, but I thought it was a tease. I thought it was like here's this. That was our backstory. Now we're moving on type of deal. And to see that he was brought back, he was remembered, and then celebrated at the end of the show, I think it was great. I think it was cool to see from Sam and Isaiah's point of view and their relationship. I think it's even cooler, and we'll see down the line. Eli's point of view, we got to see more of Eli in these last couple appearances. He's more prominent now, and I hope they keep the same character, because I feel like that'll be cool to have him kind of take on that mantle and then really go into his grandfather's shadow and kind of lean in and just follow that suit. But I really enjoyed it, and for me being upset that we didn't get the Bucky versus Isaiah that we wanted, those footage, I'm very pleased that we got this ending.
Sure, yeah. And look, still time for the flashback to Bucky versus Isaiah. If we have to settle for a comic book tie-in, I'll take it, but we can still see a flashback on screen. Eric, what did you think of that interaction?
Oh, it was great, and I agree with Jeff. Like, it seemed like it might have been a one-off thing, and I'm glad it wasn't. I want to see him fight. Like, I kept hoping at some point, and I thought it would have been so cheesy here, for him to suddenly show up at, in New York. But, even that great moment where he's like moving a tree, and it's not like some small tree. It's like a legitimately sized thing that he's just moving like it's no big deal. I think there is, I hope it's not the last we see of him I'm worried it might be, but he very well played. I thought though all those moments, that's to me where the drama hit, and it hit right. It didn't feel like they were pushing too hard. It felt grounded. It was character based and really well acted. Although the grandson at some point, I'm like, all right, just please let the adults talk. But aside from that, it was great. It really moved me.
I did like his line of like, all right, where are we going? He's like, yeah, I'm part
fine.
of this. Yeah, I thought that was all right. Michael, your thoughts on Isaiah and Sam taking some time to finish their conversation from the previous episode?
I mean, I felt like it was coming.
Sure.
It wasn't a surprise or anything like that. It's what I expected.
Yeah, I think that even so, I think that taking the time to do it well, I thought it was very nicely done. I think that we mentioned in passing the RIP to the short shelf life for John Walker's handmade shield. It did. You want to talk about how Sam's shield could be stopped by a chair? This was just like a picture, a child's drawing of a chair would have knocked over John Walker's. But very excited that it is like you get your moment where it's like you're the Scarlet Witch, and it's like I think we're gonna need a U.S. agent, and it's like I don't even care if those moments are cheesy. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know that Michael, getting the U.S. agent is really what you wanted out of this show more than anything. So talk about the comic book accurate depiction of the U.S. agent, and also that he's going to be working for Julia Louise Elaine Richard Dreyfuss.
I don't know. I really thought it was strange that they just kind of worked everything out so quickly and everybody's all good with everybody, since he was like running around trying to cut everyone's head off like 2 episodes ago. Like, it was just they're just more forgiving than I am, I guess. Like,
I mean, look, as far as the government was concerned, last week they stripped him of the title and his rank and all that, and so they've officially washed their hands of him. Now, whatever it is that Elaine is involved with, I think that that is not as up and up, and it's not in front of the cameras. Senate testimony sort of a thing. So I think it'll be interesting to see. And Michael, you're the one who keeps saying that this is all leading to Thunderbolts. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Jeff, what did you think of getting to see the U.S. agent? In the so it's the same suit, but now it's black.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking, what if we don't do Thunderbolts, but actually do Dark Avengers instead?
Well, Wes Sager in the chat would definitely agree with you. That's what he's hoping for, is Dark Avengers Here We Come, which entirely possible. You could get that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like that's where they're going. I hope Marvel doesn't fall in the. I mean, I don't know if it's a trap, but like I hope they don't do the same storyline DC does with the what is it called?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, especially with them doing a whole different a whole nother movie of Suicide Squad, even more prevalent in people's minds. So I'm really hoping for a Dark Avengers. Maybe I don't want that to be Captain America 4's main villain, because it'll be just a continuation of the same storyline. But if it's like Avengers versus Dark Avengers, that would be cool.
What about Avengers versus Dark Avengers versus Godzilla versus King Kong versus Batman versus Superman? I'm just putting it out there.
Whoa.
What? Yeah.
Two things. I'm pretty sure all of them have cameos in the Space Jam movie. And then, two, you forgot about the Fast and Furious, because they would probably be all of them. All you need is family. So
you're right. That's all we need. Yeah. Yeah. Versus LeBron. What do you think, Eric, about the future of the U.S. agent?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add beyond just like it. I did enjoy him in the role. I liked where it eventually went. It took a bit to get there, but now that he's kind of all like jacked up, angry and confused and dealing with Julia Louise, Elaine, Richard Dreyfuss, it gives us lots of possibilities. I'm cool with Dark Avengers versus West Coast Avengers triple threat match.
Yeah,
which I think we're so close to. And so I'm just, there is more to him, I guess. Didn't we all think he was going to like die by the end of this? Was that?
No, I was one of the only ones who thought he was going to die. I mean, I think that the idea that the character was going to continue was the conventional wisdom. I just thought dramatically it would have been nice if Baron Zemo just shot him in the face. But in his big hulking stupid face. But
like Wyatt Russell apparently is getting like death threats. Like who are these angry people out there?
Yeah,
and who gave
how do people
Shirley a stamp?
But how do people not understand that you're not supposed to like him? It's like he's the we should have a sound effect for old man reference coming, but he's the new Coke that comes out, but that's really just to make you appreciate the old Coke you always had that maybe wasn't selling as well. So you have him come out and it's like, oh no, we don't like this guy. Oh yeah, Sam. Let's have Sam. Sam should be Captain America. So yeah, I mean, as much as I feel like he has a big dumb stupid face, I think that I obviously I wanted harm to befall his character, nothing to happen to Snake Plissken Jr. But there was a couple of comments about Torres. Wes was hoping that Torres would show up to the fight with Sam's repaired wings. Daniel Drew said, or at least a moment of him watching the news while working on the wings. Yeah, I mean, he's got those wings. And Eric's ready with more memes if he does indeed fix those broken wings and learn to fly again. So if we get them, we will. So we've referenced it a few times since we have come on and done the show today, but it was official just a few minutes beforehand, breaking the tradition of news breaking as soon as we finish this show. Although since we've moved it to Fridays, it doesn't happen nearly as much, but it is official, according to the Hollywood Reporter, that Captain America 4 is in the works with Falcon and Winter Soldier showrunner Malcolm Spellman, who I believe that's either Malcolm. Yeah, I mean, look, it's either Malcolm Spellman or Rick Ocasek. I can't tell which one, but he'll write the script with Dallin Moussan, who's a staff writer on the series. We obviously don't know much, but the fact that this news comes out the day after the final episode of this show airs, I think we can agree with the assessment that you might see right here on the screen from the Hollywood Reporter. The feature is likely to continue the story of Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, and the current wielder of the shield. But there are multiple people that have been
kissing?
Oh, that's the clickbait about Saturday Night Live. I see that all the time.
Oh yeah, the celebrities who've been banned from SNL for life. And look, here's some cookies. Here's some cookies. Yeah,
and this is the Hollywood Reporter.
What's their website? I mean,
oh Lord,
it's the Hollywood Reporter you get to from Mr. Skin.
Oh my God! If you guys need a consultant at the Hollywood Reporter, call me.
Mr. Skin is an American hero, and I will not have you on this show disparaging the fine work that he does. And regardless of what someone's personal bedroom predilections are, there's Mr. Skin and there's also MrMan.com. He is a hero. He is the real Captain America that we deserve as Mr. Skin. So he has a website that tells you at what moment in movies you can find nude scenes. That is Mr. Skin. And he every year does the Skinatomy Awards for the best nudity from the.
I'm glad that the two married men here both know this.
Oh, I mean, it just means that we've listened to the Howard Stern show ever.
Yes, we have.
Because he's still. I don't know if he did it in the last year, but I remember very recently hearing him. So yes, Mr. Skin. hopefully joining the Dark Avengers because of. Well, let's talk about this Captain America 4 movie. I think that to me, this series was always going to exist in a way that it would tell a story that is not essential viewing for people who only watch the movies. I think WandaVision did the same thing, filled in a lot of stuff, but apart from like, oh yeah, I'm the Scarlet Witch now, you could probably pick up Doctor Strange 2 without seeing WandaVision. And I don't know, they've learned nothing from comic book crossovers because you always are like, but I don't want to have to buy that issue of Power Pack and that issue of Daredevil and that issue of, of New Mutants and X Factor. You don't want to have to buy all of them, but this is I think where they were headed. Obviously, was Captain America 4 with Sam as Captain America, and I'm sure also some of the big name Avengers that didn't really show up in this series, apart from Rhodey, which I know Michael was excited about. But your thoughts? I'll ask you first, Eric. In this story continuing on the big screen, or also on Disney Plus Premier Access. Who knows where the world will be by then?
If I can quote a critic / influencer / fashion icon, Falcon is such a puss. He needs the SS serum. I'm not saying who that was because I didn't get permission to use the quote. No. I have more, by the way. There'll be a reading later.
Good. I'm glad.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, like weirdly enough, I'm still recovering from that. You guys, I think, already have accepted this. I was always hoping Secret Invasion would be a film, and so something about the TV show version of that feels like whatever other movies are coming down in phase whatever we're up to. I was just kind of like, Secret Invasion feels like something that is epic enough to warrant sort of bringing another Captain America film out. So. I mean, maybe it'll tie in. I don't know. He's great. He's definitely got star quality. I'm happy to see more of Sam in any shapes or form with any kind of wings. So I guess it just depends, like where they kind of land with the timeline and with the larger stories, where they're going to put it.
Yeah, I agree. Michael, apart from the phlegm, what are your thoughts on, well, we talked about this being a movie and, this idea that that's where the story continues. And either way, you'll only see it on your TV screen. So whether it's a movie or it's a series, it's not going to make that much of a difference for you, right?
Yeah. I honestly don't care.
Yeah. Your viewing habits are kind of the same.
Someone had a question for me in the chat. They said,
okay, well, before we get to the question that's specifically for you, Jeff, this being a movie, I think it, again, sort of talking about the way this episode shines a spotlight on Sam as Captain America, putting in a movie instead of like, I think that your casual moviegoer is gonna, they'll look and be like, oh, there's another Captain America movie. Those are not people that are gonna know, like, hey, did you know that there was a Falcon and Winter Soldier 6-part series? So giving him a movie, I think, is a great way to really, bring to the forefront that this is our new Captain America. So, what are your thoughts on this continuing on the big screen?
Exactly that, because as much as they want to promote these TV shows and say that the streaming numbers are amazing and everything, what do you think about when you think of like your marquee nights, you're going on a date night? You don't say, okay, we're gonna have a TV show night. We're gonna have you binge TV shows. You have a movie night. You think of a movie. You go down and go to the movie theater. Like, you have movies are a bigger thing. It's a bigger deal. You want to be in movies. And with this being transitioned from a 6-part series to a movie, I honestly think it was because the first 2 episodes did so well. And like after reading some of the articles saying that it broke the streaming records and whatever scale there is for streaming right now, it broke that. To see those numbers, they're probably like, okay, we're probably going to have Captain America and the Winter Soldier as a series, season 2, and that's what they did at the little end or whatever. But they're like, the numbers are too good. We want to pump this guy up. Let's have him go back to a movie. So it'd be interesting to see what that movie is, because I really hope it's not season 2 of this, because I want a new villain. That's where I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, don't give me the X-Files movie, which is like, I watch the X-Files for free on TV, and like now I have to spend, like $6 whole to go see it on a big screen.
Or worse, not the second one, which was like
no,
tied to nothing.
Yeah, but the first one at least happened in like real time in the narrative for the good part of the show. Michael, did you find the question that someone had for you? Because I don't want that to be forgotten, but I just wanted to focus on Cap 4.
Well, Cammie Egan said, Michael, Shirley, you don't seem too pleased with Jeff's idea of Avengers versus Dark Avengers. How come? I just don't want to see it get too inundated with Avengers. It's like we're going to have young Avengers. Like, I want to say we're probably at some point going to get a West Coast Avengers. So it's just like...
I'm hoping.
Sometimes I feel like Marvel, when they have something that's making money, they just kind of beat it and do it over and over, like with all the Spider-Man movies. And I want to see mutants. I don't want to just get like 10 Avengers teams.
Well, I think that they would like to give you 10 Avengers teams and also mutants. But I do understand your point. Don't just give us a bunch of Avengers stuff. Now the fact that you can give us mutants. What were you going to say, Jeff?
My question is, do you think that Marvel's and like Kevin Feige thought that they were going to get the reaction that they got from Falcon and Winter Soldier that they were going to get for WandaVision? As in, like, with it breaking streaming records, with it like turning into a movie and rather than a TV show, and just my perspective saying that like it has bigger numbers in WandaVision. Do you think that they were expecting the opposite?
I don't think that they were expecting that. I think that this was always going to lead into Captain America 4. You know what I mean? I mean, that's probably pretty far along. I mean, I'm going to assume the script is written, but maybe there had been the consideration of, well, let's see how it does. And I'm not convinced that we would never get another series that have Sam and Bucky both on it. In addition to also getting a Captain America 4, maybe it would just be sort of like Captain America, 4.5, and then, Captain America 5.4 or whatever. But I do think that, that's why we're, I think that, look, the real money is still in the theatrical movies around the world. You can sell your shows, but I mean, in all honesty, Disney Plus is around the world. So it's just about having the subscriptions for the service. But I don't think that more new shows are, bringing more subscriptions in. And I think that the amount of money that comes in for a movie is much greater. Does anybody disagree, Eric or Michael?
Michael's like, you're preaching truth here, Christian.
Yeah. I hear tell it is truth to power. Well, I wanted to tell, there's a little bit of some other Marvel news that has happened over the last few days over the course of the week. And we did finally get the teaser trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And we're watching it a little bit on the screen here with no audio, because I think that's how you keep from getting yanked down by YouTube. But I mean, it's just really sort of giving us, I think, a lot of what we expected. Except for, maybe we should have expected a karaoke scene.
This is so much my life, by the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I believe you're actually, I regardless of what I said, it looked like you were sitting here before. I know you're coming to us from your dojo, your mass dojo. But Michael, the branching out to Shang-Chi, I mean, it's another genre entirely. It is part of the Marvel universe, but it's a kung fu movie, I mean, and it'll be in our theaters and presumably still drive-ins in September. Where are you at now that we're at least seeing a little of it, Michael? You have the same excitement level that you did before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you a single thing about this character. I just do not know it. Like, I just don't know any of the lore, any of his villains. It's just, I think it's really good that they're having an Asian American leading a
Sure, of
superhero
course,
movie,
yeah.
but that part I was like, what? The part
Yeah.
when he's like on the bus and he's like, yeah. But I did like to see that Aquafina is going to be in it. I think she's really funny.
She's great.
Like,
Yeah.
This right here is like,
Yeah, when she's driving the bus.
Playing the role of Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Speed 3. Yeah, I mean, watching the trailer looked, I guess I liked it a little more. That scene with the water exploding in the room and the bus scene, that looks pretty cool. But I just don't know anything about the character. Maybe I'll be a huge
And look,
fan.
I'll be honest, there's a earlier, well, I guess it started at the end of last year. There was a 5-issue Shang-Chi miniseries that Marvel did, which I picked up because I really didn't know anything of it. By the time I started reading comics, a few months in, his series got canceled. It was the heyday of Shang-Chi was in the 70s. And as old as Michael thinks I am, I'm not quite that old. So I really don't know that much about him, but it's kind of like the Eternals. I've read an Eternals series, the 12-issue miniseries from the 80s. I don't know that much about them. And I'm not going to go get all caught up before the movie because I'm like, no, I want the movie to tell me the story. And then if I like it, that's when I'll go and I'll read it and see about it.
I don't think
Michael,
I'm gonna like it.
You don't think you're going to like
Eternals?
No.
Wow.
Well,
just got a feeling.
Yeah, look, I've had that feeling before that other Marvel movies I'm like, they can't make Thor work. How does Thor work on the big screen in whatever year that was, in 2009, you know? Jeff, your thoughts on getting to see a little bit of Shang-Chi? I mean, that's not even the trailer, that's the teaser trailer.
Well, to your point, they didn't make Thor work because the first one and technically the second one were kind of forgettable.
I thought that the first one worked and the third one was great. The second one did not. Yeah, did very not. True. The second, though. I'm with you, though.
I just kind of deleted. But no, agreeing with you. This trailer, I kind of had mixed feelings on it at first because when I first watched it, I was like, okay, there's a lot of like what's going on here, because there was a lot of like action, but it was a lot of slow-mo, and it just didn't give me the feel of like a Marvel movie. It almost just seemed too animated, too Disney. And then I literally just went to work and watched it again later at night, and I had a total different feeling about it. It gave me vibes of Black Panther meets Ant-Man, where there's going to be a whole different culture shift, a whole different feel. You're going to see whole different people interacting with stuff, but you're still gonna have the slap jokes that you get with Ant-Man, the silliness, the corniness that you get with Ant-Man. So it's gonna be a mixture of both, and I'm excited to see it. From what all the directors, the producers have been saying in interviews, they're like, this is the best action movie that Marvel's put out yet. So I'm ready to see it. I want to see what all the talk is about. And kind of to dabble into the Eternals, that's another one where I don't know too much about the background, but it's like the cast is great. Marvel has a great track record. Give me a new team to care about, because I was suspect on the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they do great.
Yeah. The only character that I really knew going into Guardians was Rocket Raccoon, and not just the much cooler sounding Rocket. And that was another one where I'm like, well, who wants to see these guys? You know, but so yeah, I mean, and Michael, that's the thing you can say about the Eternals. At least it's not the Avengers Eternals; it's a non-Avengers team. You know, so we're getting that. Eric, your thoughts? And we've talked a little bit about it in the past, but you know, branching out into another genre entirely, and the little bits that we're seeing. And I think, Jeff, you're right. It's very important. It's a very specific reason you bring Julia Louis-Dreyfus in. You're bringing Awkwafina into this movie for a reason, you know, and judging from the teaser trailer, she's going to deliver. So what are you thinking, Eric?
Yeah, Shang-Chi, Eternals, I never bought any of their comics. It's funny, I didn't even realize I had a Guardians of the Galaxy comic that I found from like 1980 something. And yet Jeff, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, that movie came out and it just showed like kind of never count out Marvel. You know, they showed like they are for real. The fact they could take of all their properties that one and turn it into, I mean, arguably one of their best. Like, says like they really they get story. You know, hearing Kevin Feige speak, like he gets what it takes to kind of keep this thing going and expanding and going new places. And so I'm not super excited about Shang-Chi, but I also, you know, I feel like they have found a way to put a spin on a lot of different subgenres. And so it looks familiar, but yet I know once you see Aquafina there's a fight scene on a subway or a bus or whatever. It's like, okay, maybe this is going to be something. And then also it looks like they're in, I don't know, the Forbidden City. And so I'm curious about this one now. I will have to say I'm not necessarily like, oh my God, I can't wait till it comes out. But
yeah,
we're all going to see it. Let's not kid ourselves. It's just a matter of like, will we see it in the theater? Probably. And will I see it more than once in the theater? Maybe. You know, I guess we'll see how it is.
Yeah, I mean, if I spent money to see the TV premiere of the Inhumans TV show in a movie theater, which I did, obviously I will use my money to see anything. And Wes Sager makes a great point. One of my favorite movies is Kung Fu Hustle, which is a love letter to old Kung Fu flicks. This movie will hit those notes as well while expanding into the MCU. And I agree. And I did like the moment, you know, to Eric's point about it being set in the Forbidden City. I didn't realize that the Forbidden City had a Ghirardelli chocolate shop, but there it was. No, but obviously it's set in San Francisco, which that immediately got me thinking like, Scott Lang cameo? Come on. You know, maybe a credit scene with the little Ant-Man.
He goes to the Baskin Robbins that he was working at.
Yeah, exactly. Just a couple of minor things. This is just more in terms of the, you know, Disney Plus and synergy between the companies. The Spider-Man films, and that does include Venom and more along those lines, are now going to officially be on Disney Plus. So if you were looking to just be able to have one button to push to watch Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home, it's not their first location that they end up on. But these movies will all eventually end up there, and it's sort of like the pay TV window. This article from comicbook.com explains. So you'll get to see everything on Disney Plus, including some stuff that's not already there. And it was also announced that Emilia Clarke, whom most people know from Game of Thrones, but you also may know her for destroying the Terminator franchise and the Star Wars film franchise by her appearing in both whatever that Terminator movie was. That was Terminator Genesis. And, of course, also appearing in the Solo movie, which actually I enjoyed. But it's okay because
and
it's
appearing in Mr. Skin as well for those who are Solo.
I mean, she has her own page in Mr. Skin for sure. But she'll be joining Secret Invasion at Disney Plus. So it's not a movie. So maybe what they're saying is, honey, you belong on television. Okay. So, but the reason I bring it up, because that's the news part. The rumor is that she'd be playing one Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman, Michael, Emilia Clarke playing Spider-Woman on TV, or just Spider-Woman on TV, regardless of the Emilia Clarke of it. Would you be excited for that, or do you feel like Jessica should get her own standalone movie?
I really like Spider-Woman. I have a lot of Spider-Woman comics, older ones. I haven't picked up any of the new ones, but I guess I'll take her however we can get her. But that definitely wouldn't be my casting choice.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of an underwhelming choice.
Didn't you call her like the ruiner of franchises?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Terminator and Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, she puts the brakes on film franchises continuing. So that's why she's back on TV where she belongs. Eric, your thoughts on the possibility? It's confirmed that she's on Secret Invasion. the possibility that the Khaleesi would be a Spider-Woman on our screen.
Well, I like that you're comparing her to a reference. I think, dare I say, only you are going to get Ted McGinley.
Ted McGinley, yeah. I know.
I get that. Whatever.
Okay, well, listen. Sometimes because you're like
Yeah,
what 21,
okay.
23?
But here's the thing, and this is why people tune into this show,
You're
because
so
I'm going to poke a huge hole in the Ted McGinley ruiner of shows theory. Because look,
From Jump the Shark.
Love Boat was going to ruin its own self. Okay, Ted
That's
McGinley
true.
didn't ruin Love Boat. Ted McGinley replaces Steve on Married with Children. There are more seasons with Ted McGinley as
That's
Jefferson than there were of Steve. The show got better with Jefferson, but to your point,
Yes,
he
it
did
did.
ruin a lot of television. I mean, he's in like the last season of Happy Days when it's like, oof,
Right.
boy, they must have been back in a Brinks truck of solid gold bars to Henry Winkler's house for him to be like, and that's like 5 years after the show, like literally jumped the shark. The episode where he jumps over the shark, it was on for 5 years after that.
Oh yeah, no, it kept. So you're literally doing the same argument Henry Winkler makes whenever anyone brings up Jump the Shark.
Look,
It kept
this is somebody I've
going,
never
it
heard
was
from
popular
before.
for years, right?
Yeah. But look,
Well,
Gideon says you guys are so funny.
Aw,
Gideon,
We
I'm
know.
gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that on the screen while we talk because I appreciate that so much. But
You know what? I like Amelia Clark. I think as Spider-Woman, well, yeah, why not? She'll look in the costume. I'm sorry, I know that sounds very sort of
Mr. Skin,
meatheady, match.
very Mr. Skin, yeah.
But she will. She's a good actor. She was good in most of Game of Thrones. Like the franchise killing. I wouldn't put on her, despite Christian's narrative here and his bizarre amount of Amelia Clark hate. Something went wrong there. I don't know what,
Probably.
but yeah, she'll be fine. That's all I got to say. Moving on.
And Jeff, your thoughts on potentially getting Spider-Woman in Secret Invasion and having it be Amelia Clark?
I need all my Queen Daenerys. I need all the hate from my queen to stop. First and foremost, she's gonna
look.
bring
Did you
great-
see that? Did you see that Terminator movie that she was in, which isn't the
No.
last Terminator movie?
So awful.
Yeah, no. She's playing Linda Hamilton's character, and you're like, well, maybe if she was like playing her daughter or something, it would have been all
she's
right.
wide-eyed like a fucking Bambi the whole time. I mean, it is everything in that stuff's rotten.
Yeah,
But anyway,
there's
sorry,
some
Jeff.
movies-
your
There's some
thoughts,
movies
sorry.
from my queen that I ignore. Those are one
My
of them.
queen.
That's one of them. But no, I'm excited for her to join the MCU hopefully in this role. I think it'll be cool for her to join Space Invasion, and I think that it would be like, I think Sony loves the fact, if this is all true, that she's joining a TV show on Disney Plus to tease her character, to introduce her character, and then have a movie. Because I'm pretty sure it was in development or talked about that Olivia Wilde is directing a Spider-Woman movie. So if they cast this with Olivia Wilde already as keyed as a director, then it's already in promotion. It's already, in production.
Yeah,
So
sure.
Sony would love this play. That's promoting their own character, and to have more Spider people, it's a play for them.
Yeah, and people in the chat are pointing out that Olivia Colman is rumored for also being on Secret Invasion, and people are wondering if maybe she could play Madam Web, which means you're really going deep into this. And what about this, though, from Michael B? Helen Mirren as Madam Web. But I think if we get Madam Web, I think it's a character I think that probably a lot more people know from like the 90s Spider-Man animated series, because she had like a moment in the comics, like the early 200 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, and then the character kind of disappeared, at least for a while. So it'll be interesting to see. And Ghost 8386, just factoring right into the important stuff. Ted McGinley was great as Stan Gable in Revenge of the Nerds. Absolutely correct, Ghost 8386. And spoken as a fellow member of Lambda. And once again, Gideon, love the discussion going on. Great stuff. You know what, Gideon? What I like is your comments more than anything else. Oh, yeah, Cam Egan, let's make this point. Don't forget the massive shit show Amelia Clark was in called Last Christmas. Yeah. And
Queen.
yeah, well, it's Don't get too attached in that movie is all I know to say about that. But anyway, we as they say in the business, I'd like to apologize to our affiliates for going a little long, but there was so much to talk about in addition to the show. We will be back next Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We are about a month away from MODOK and about 6 weeks away from Loki. So we'll probably talk more. We'll probably talk more about this show. We'll see if we can get some friends to pop in along the way, but we will be back. So please join us then. Thank you so much to everybody joining us in the live chat. Until next week, Michael, where can people find you?
You can find me at I Hate Michael Shirley on Instagram and at Michael X Shirley on Twitter.
And Eric, where can people find you apart from your Amelia Clark, Ted McGinley fan fiction that is widely disseminated online?
Yes, and until I change my handle from Count to Master Eric Connor, I am still Count Eric Connor. You can check out our documentary, Other Voices, is on Amazon, available for rental or purchase. And to leave you all with a quote. And by the way, thank you again for including me as part of this, and to everyone in chat, because you guys are only deepening my appreciation for this, and how and I particularly I feed off the hate too when we get pissed off about things, even if I disagree. Yeah, it's so it only adds to the pleasure.
As a lifelong Sith Lord, hate only makes you stronger.
Oh, so so I was going to quote an esteemed colleague of mine here. The scene is garbage. Jeff won, maybe not. Told you all. Deep ass harvesting cover. Followed by no stop. OMG. How does he have any authority over anyone, let alone the U.S. government? Oh my God! Finally, she was a total dullard. T.S. Eliot doesn't have shit on you.
No, it's very true. And
if you get shot in the stomach, you're supposed to die. Like, why didn't she die?
Didn't you see Reservoir Dogs? You bleed a lot, but you don't die.
Yeah, she's the power broker. And Jeff, once again, I'm sure you're so relieved that you are not on this text chain. That all hours of the night, really, it just keeps going, and
it's horrifying.
It can be horrifying at times.
Yeah, I got a taste of it through just like the Twitter feed and the conversations that we have on Twitter. So I can only imagine.
The Twitter conversation was going on concurrently with the texting, and I hadn't gone to bed yet. So I got wrapped up. But speaking of Twitter, Jeff, if people want to keep in touch with you, where can they do that?
Yes, at Jeff Will Jr. on all your social media platforms. We're going to be continued conversation, talking about this show, talking about theories, talking about different characters we like, didn't like, talking about new characters, and then I think we need to start ranking some characters because there's not new shows coming out. Well, not too many new shows coming out. We got to start adding some rankings. So there'll be new content soon.
By the way, people in the chat are referencing it's mostly rumored, but it does seem that Russell Crowe might be playing Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. So if he's good enough to be Superman's dad, I guess he can be Hercules' dad too. So, but I mean, it could be really great casting just so long as he doesn't sing. But if that happens, then we're gonna have some real problems. But anyway,
Hugh Jackman would come in for that.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a great point. He's the greatest showman, so of course he's going to. Anyway, that is all the time and then some that we have for this week. Thanks to Michael, Eric, Jeff, everyone in the chat. And sorry, Cami Egan, you're saying we have only 1 month for Loki. Loki's June 11th. So just 1 month. Yeah. So
damn.
It's a little bit more than a month until we get MODOK. And that MODOK trailer that's out there, it has Wonder Man in it. And if you read the letters page from Solo Avengers number 16, you know what a fan of Wonder Man I've been for so long. So hopefully we do get that. But so much time to talk about that and everything else as we will next Friday. But until then, as the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior!